Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hey there. Welcome to the Detroit Cast for a Wednesday edition with Mike and Jay. Big E is here. Kadog, still an asshole, yet here. Poos is here. Look at that.
Troops on the astronom couch.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Got her blanket. She's tuckered out.
Thinking about licking her box. She is. You can tell.
Oh, she will. She will at some point.
Her nose is too close to the box right now not to lick.
Beth,
She can't resist. How do you resist that if you're the Proops?
you wouldn't. Beth texted me earlier and said Izzy just woke herself up by farting. She farted herself awake. Poops. Thinking it poops.
Strange creature.
Anyway, how are you, pal?
Well, I'm really good. Yeah, you?
I'm medium to medium well.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot to cover today.
We do. Dare I say a big show? We got a lot to get to. Balloon share. I'm thinking.
Love this story.
Yeah, we should do this on the show.
I can't believe it's not been done yet.
Yeah, I think it's been done in movies. Up.
being
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I know I've seen references and stuff like that. We'll explain later. We got a drunk attack. Ugh. We got job advancement. If you're struggling to figure out why you can't move ahead in the world, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not singling anybody
maybe
out.
I'll listen to that story for a change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
we'll
what's
let you
going
know.
on.
We'll wake you up when we get there.
let me know when I have to pay attention.
Okay.
We got our local cancer doctor. Seems like a
Mm.
nice guy, Dr. Fada. We'll get into him. The Florida State quarterback in some hot water.
A little bit.
A little bit more on Cosby and his testimony. How could we start the day without going, his name is Jared?
It
Holy
can only
shit.
be Jared.
Jared Fogle. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This story
Subway guy.
is the Subway guy. Yes. Famous for losing, I don't know, a couple 100 pounds.
What a weird kind of like rise to fame.
Only in America, man.
Seriously.
Only in America. Federal investigators, in case you're not aware, raided his home this morning, seizing computers, hard drives, other electronics in a search for child porn. Boy. Ooh, did you hear about that, E?
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
What's that
Fogle,
supposed to mean?
he was detained. I was just wondering if you'd heard about it.
I did.
He was detained outside at his Indiana home when a special task force showed up at 6:30 this morning with a search warrant. His wife and kids had left just before the raid, which is interesting. Kids wouldn't be off to school, or they're not in school now. It seems like they sent them out.
But real quick, just did you notice in this image I kept seeing all day of him? I thought he lost all.
Yeah, look at him.
how-
He definitely ought to be wearing a bra.
Yeah.
Is that?
It's not goody.
It doesn't look
It's
like
doughy and supple.
this does not. I mean, this does not look like the guy that's literally in commercials. Now they're off now, but we're in a week ago. You could have seen him in a commercial. It just doesn't look like a little Photoshop maybe going on. Or
They said 190, and I looked at that and went, not a chance.
No way.
No way is that 190. No.
The
The
dude,
breasts are telling.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's definitely times though where he's looked thinner.
Oh yeah,
I
for
just-
sure.
I just saw
think-
that all day and just go, wait a minute, what?
I think they said when he got married for the second time, he got divorced a couple years ago, and then he was getting married, and leading up to the wedding, he went back to some old habits and started eating fat dressings.
What?
all types of
Non-Subway.
shit.
Yeah, I know.
What?
And he ballooned up to 232.
What? Oh, what happened to him walking the subway every day?
Yeah, well.
There's
Anyway.
mention of that in this story, right? How
Yeah.
he kind of got leached onto Subway.
Exactly. There is. He's not under arrest at this time. Investigators with the feds, the state police, and the postal service were seen working all morning, bringing hard drives and electronics over from his home into a waiting police trailer for analysis. Postal Service, they said, in case things were sent through the mail, they'll bring those guys into the mix. An FBI spokesman confirmed the agency is conducting a criminal investigation in the area, but they wouldn't comment further. Fogle is indeed a suspect in a child porn investigation. And then they go on to talk about how, he became a household name in the 90s, as we all remember, to an annoying amount of publicity for this dude. It was ridiculous. When he lost 245 pounds eating an all Subway diet, he started working as a spokesman for the company shortly thereafter. He's worth, from doing that, he's worth a reported $15 million now.
Again, only in America.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He also has a black card that gets him free Subway anywhere he goes in the country.
Oh, God.
You know, I don't know if
You know how
it's
sick of Subway you'd be. I'm sick of Subway, and I'm just a normal patron.
Yeah.
Subway is. That's what happens to me. Subway. The thing about Subway is like it's good, but then you get real bored of the choices real fast. And the bottom line is, for quote unquote being a healthy choice, if the healthy sandwiches, there's a lot of them that are good, but they're not really healthy choices.
No, you gotta pare it down and make it healthy.
Turkey
yourself.
breast, veggie probably.
Yeah,
I think there's
lay off
another
the
one.
mayo. There's all sorts of choices you have to make as you go down that line to make it healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just, anything you eat on the line. That's what I always thought was humorous sometimes. You'd see those people in Subway lines and they'd be like, well, I'm eating fresh or whatever. I'm like, but they're getting a freaking double bacon, double cheese, double mayonnaise. I'm like, wow, are you?
Yeah, they definitely cater to people who want it to taste good too.
Yeah, for sure. Subway did issue a statement today saying, we are shocked about the news and believe it is related to a prior investigation of a former Jared Foundation employee. We're very concerned. We'll be monitoring the situation closely. We don't have any more details at this point. I thought I read this afternoon late that Subway said no more.
Yeah, that's what or at least he's suspended.
Yeah.
I think they're the suspension.
So-
I
right?
don't know that he adds all that much value to Subway
I
anymore,
don't
right?
either.
I feel like
Well-
it's sort of a played out thing. He's an annoying character. That's the thing that
Yeah.
always bothered me about him. Like, not only the stupid story, but he's just not a very likable dude to me.
Yeah.
He
No,
seems
you're
like
totally
a
right.
big weenus.
Yeah. He is kind of a dork. He always was. Yeah, look at him. Such a nerd.
He in this image though,
They
I'm
severed
telling you.
ties with him. Wow.
If you look
that's
at
his thing, dude. I hope he
Right.
saved that money.
that is not the same guy we saw a picture
No,
of.
you're right.
An image of today.
He's riding the wave.
The raid comes more than a month, and here's where his team is going to go with this. More than a month after his executive director of his childhood obesity charity, the Jared Foundation, was arrested on child porn charges. Russell Taylor's his name. He was arrested in May on 7 counts of production of child porn, 1 count of possession of child porn. It's unclear if the raid on his home is anywhere related to that or not. This woman apparently was sexting with this Taylor guy, and he's like, "So, you want me to send you some kid pics for this young girl?" And the chick was like,
No.
"Okay," and she went to the cops.
Yeah.
And that's what triggered the whole thing. And so a subsequent search of his home turned up more than 400 videos of child porn stored on computers and other devices in his home office. 4 minors have been identified as victims. He tried to kill himself in jail, and they got to him in time. And he was on life support for a while, but he's doing better now. So I don't know. But the Jared story, if you don't remember, and I didn't remember a lot of this, some of his former roommates and classmates are talking now.
From college.
From
Because that's when he
college.
started the diet, right?
Right. He was a 425-pound freshman at Indiana University, and he would eat at Subway every day. He would eat 1 6-inch turkey sub and then a foot-long veggie sub every day. He lost 84 pounds in 3 months. When his roommate Ryan Coleman wrote an article in the student newspaper about this amazing transformation, that's when it kind of took off. As news broke this morning of the FBI raid, a rumor about his past resurfaced.
Dude, when you're that big, though, when you're 425, you could walk around the block once a week and probably shed 15 pounds, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you are so fucking just... that's ridiculous. You just make a simple little change.
Yeah.
And granted, okay, Subway was a lot better than what he was, I'm sure, eating just greasy ass, nasty shit.
If you're eating 4 Big Macs at a sitting and large fries, couple
Yeah.
large fries,
and you change to some real food, okay, yeah, I could totally see that.
right.
But then what? Then he went down to what, 190 just eating Subway?
Yeah,
Really?
exactly.
Is that the story? Like no exercise involved here, dude?
Well, he claimed he was walking to the
2
he
miles.
was
there
walking
and back.
2 miles there and back. But one of his old roommates or someone that knew him at Indiana University went, yeah, that his deal was extreme laziness is why he started going to Subway. That the fact is, in the building we lived in, they put a new Subway in there, and it was like the closest fast food around. So he apparently, the story goes that he was selling porn out of his dorm room. He had a massive porn collection, and that's how he was making money at college, was renting and selling porns. and he was really particular about his porn. And so he didn't like to leave it unattended. So it was the closest fast food. So
he didn't like to leave his porn unattended.
Yeah, he didn't like to leave it for long, and like he kept tabs on everything.
Wow.
I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's kind of what these people that knew him are saying. And so it wasn't like, oh, he made these healthy decisions. It was like, yeah, this new fast food joint.
Got to get back to my porn.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to call Aaron. Remember our friend Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who works with the feds, and he deals with child porn cases. Because my thought is, boy, this is really lousy. If this is a situation where he's working out of his house and hired this guy, and this guy turned out to be a creep, Jared knew nothing about it, and now the feds are raiding his place, and your name is forever linked to child porn.
So you see something coming across your IP address.
Right.
So it's like, oh, it's Jared's house.
Yeah. And they raid it. So I thought it'd be interesting to call him up. You want to dial him up, Kadog? And get his take on this. We've talked to Aaron before.
Evening, guys.
Hey, dude.
Hey, Aaron.
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing very good. I don't know if you've been listening, probably not, but we were just breaking down the Jared story.
Okay.
Jared Fogle. And what do you think when you see a story like this? Do you think where there's smoke, there's fire, or?
Because it's a federal case, I've been doing some reading. I knew you guys were going to call, so I didn't want to listen in and get background, Peter.
Hey, and real quick, Aaron, can you just give us, I know you don't want to like give your complete identity, but just real quick background thumbnail of what you do.
I've been a forensic examiner with the state, the feds, for over 17 years in law enforcement. I actually just retired after 22 and a half years from one of the local sheriff's office, and pretty much spent my entire career doing digital crimes and investigations. I teach around the country, forensics and, digital crime stuff. So this whole case is what I do and what I've done my entire career.
Now, do you focus more on the child porn aspect of it? When you talk about digital files, you're talking about when they take someone's hard drive in their computer. You're the guy that goes and scrubs those.
Yeah, I'm the nerd that sits in a lab and looks at all the ones and zeros and tracks everything down to see what they've been doing, where it's coming from, and who they're sending it to.
Wow.
Yeah. So I get to see the stuff that nobody else in society wants to see. So.
Yeah. Thank God you're doing it.
Yeah, someone is.
Yeah. Well, I'm on day 5 of retirement. It's not too bad. So.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So I can't complain. But
so this is right in your wheelhouse. So yeah, what's going on with this case?
Well, and the thing is, working with the feds over the years and knowing how they do things. When they go hit somebody's house, they don't it's not like the neighbor called and said, hey, I think my neighbor's beating my wife. They do their due diligence. I mean, especially because, we hate to say this in society, but Jared's a high profile guy. He's got money, it's going to hit the media.
Yeah.
These federal prosecutors don't want to be wrong when they issue a search warrant. So I'm going to, not even go out on a limb. I'm going to say that these guys have done some major research and have some pretty good understanding and idea that something was coming from his house or his location regarding child pornography, production, manufacturing, either trading of images of children.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not going to do it. And we've done these cases in the past. I mean, they make us jump through a ton of hoops. I don't want the public to think that cops just go out there and, hey, my neighbor is downloading child pornography. Well, that's great, but we have to have some pretty solid evidence that that's going on before a judge will sign a federal search warrant to walk in the door.
And which is what we have here with Jared. There was a federal search warrant this morning. I found it interesting that his wife and children had already left the premises by 6:30. Do you think that they were tipped that they were coming, or?
They don't. No, we don't do that generally. If they're doing, we do a lot of surveillance, and the feds do especially. They have surveillance teams that are professional. So, they may have known their schedule a week or two out. It's not uncommon to sit on someone's house for a week or two to see when they come and go from work. So we try to isolate and catch our main target, the person we want to interview, alone. We don't want to torment their family because ultimately, if you think about it, the wife and the child aren't going to be involved for the most part. They're actually victims themselves. So if it is true that Jared's out doing something heinous, his wife and child could either be victims or just bystanders of this horrible thing. So we always go out of our way to try to get them home alone. just not to, it does, it sheds a bad light. And I'm going to tell you, as a cop, when you go into a house, and I got to sit down and talk to a wife and kid, it's the last thing I want to do is discuss, hey, yeah, we're investigating, we've got a child pornography, child abuse, sex claims coming from this residence. It's pretty traumatic.
Do you find, Aaron, when you do that there were signs there? Like I'm always, sometimes it seems like these come out of left field and people go, oh my God, I would have never expected. And is it people don't want to see that with a family member or a friend, but the signs were there? Are there signs?
Absolutely. And it's, hindsight's 20/20 because, we may not see it from the outside, but after if it's true, the wife may sit down and say, well, he was doing some pretty odd stuff. He did have some weird behavior. Maybe when I got near his computer, he was really protective. He had everything extra password protected, stuff like that. But that doesn't usually raise red flags. I mean, he's a businessman. He's got investments, other stuff. You kind of keep that stuff locked down. But usually, most of the time afterwards, the light bulb goes off. Yeah, that was kind of strange. But when you're in love with someone, you live with them, you don't really expect it. That's the thing. Is a lot of times when I've done hundreds upon hundreds of these cases, and usually the spouse, loved ones, or family members are just absolutely floored.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't expect it whatsoever. And it's like I said, I've had people faint, pass out. We've called ambulances because they don't believe it. These people live a double life. Wife goes to bed, he gets alone time, he does this creepy stuff, and she comes home, let me turn the computer off, no big deal.
Gross.
So,
well,
yeah, but by looking at it though, like I said, I talked to you earlier, and I did some research. I've been reading up on it. His former manager, Russell Taylor, was charged with 7 counts of production. Now that's different than just possessing it or trading it. That's actually manufacturing and making the videos themselves. Wow. That's about as disgusting as you can get. So from what I read in the court records and what's been posted online, through the media, is that they charged him with actually filming the children involved, which is the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
And how far in advance did all that occur before this raid today? Like when was he arrested?
A couple of months ago.
Okay.
I want to say about 2 months ago.
So obviously they start peeling the onion with him, and they, obtain evidence that leads them to this house.
Exactly. That it could be one of two things. One, they could have found that, hey, maybe him and Jared had a common bond, and this was something that they were both into. Or two, maybe this guy was over at Jared's house using the home office. It looked like from TV, he's got a pretty nice house.
Yeah.
Was on Jared's internet and in the background downloading this stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's possible Jared's not involved in this, right?
Absolutely.
This could have been going on in his house through this Russell guy, and they're just now trying to gather more evidence on Russell. Or
absolutely, and said, hey, and the thing is, we all use home networks now. It's easy to do, a common hard drive, network sharing, all the little gadgets you buy at Best Buy or online. Anybody can set that stuff up.
Well, how much?
If you guys, even in your office, if you share stuff, who knows what each other's doing?
That's what I was going to say. I've got Big E sitting here next to me.
Yeah.
My man could be doing this stuff, probably is.
Yeah.
And I could be tagged with this.
Yeah.
Don't fucking say probably is the child pornography.
Well, we just don't know. We don't know, E.
Fuck you guys.
It's more probable than not. Yeah. Let's admit that.
No, it's not.
He could be into animals, or he could be into big girls or scat or whatever his fetish is. So
I listen to missionary porn.
Exactly. And that's the issue, is when someone's on your home network, it comes back to the old days, your phone number. So my search warrant's going to give me an IP address that gives you to your location where you're filming. Someone sitting in your studio downloading and uploading something, or sends an email from their Gmail account of some illegal activity. Well, when the cops trace it back, it brings them to you, and the investigation would lead to you too. They'd knock on the door, they'd seize your stuff. The evidence will show that it wasn't you if it wasn't, right?
Really? Is that easy to tell, Aaron? Would you be able to tell, these guys are being set up, or these guys, there was one guy in specific that was doing something? You'd be able to tell that?
We would, through old-fashioned police work and interview and old-fashioned forensics. But now, mind you, this doesn't happen like CSI overnight.
Right.
I mean, if you guys have a bunch of portable hard drives and laptops, it takes weeks, if not months, to go through it all. So you lose all your equipment. You know, your show would be off the air. You guys would be sitting there going, great. Well, they speculate till they clear your name. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not an overnight process. It's slow and tedious. And, you know, it's going to cost you money with lawyers to protect yourself and all that. But, you know, and I'm not going to lie, I've been on cases, you know, throughout my career where we've gone and hit a door and we check, it's open Wi-Fi. Well, guess what? It was the neighbor on someone's unsecured wireless.
Oh man.
Wow. We did a case that was actually on the Steve Wilkos show years ago. And, the mom didn't have internet and we knew who she was. We had targeted her. However, she was jumping on the old people's Wi-Fi next door had open Wi-Fi.
Really?
Now, we did our due diligence and knew that we knew it wasn't the two old people. We knew it was this woman trying to sell us her daughter. And we had a target, we had pictures, we had everything else. But however, my warrant, I had to go talk to this old couple at 11:30 at night.
They were probably really confused.
Yeah. Oh my! Not only were they confused, they're scared to death to see, you know, 6 guys with machine guns standing out front.
Right.
While they're arresting, you know, we're raiding the house next door. I'm like, hey, do you guys, you know, I know you guys are unsecure wireless. Do you want me to come in and give you a little computer lesson so this doesn't happen?
Yeah, they probably had no idea,
You know,
right?
So
Probably never even used the Wi-Fi.
none whatsoever.
You know,
No, and 10 years ago, people weren't concerned about that.
you know, what strikes me about this,
it was heartbreaking.
Aaron, when I see this Jared story, what stands out is it seems like if you're into that type of thing, if that's your thing, especially if you're filming child porn, trading it, that's something that is so against social norms that you would, I just find it hard to believe that you would go into someone else's home and try to do that stuff. It almost seems like you'd have to have a partner in crime. Otherwise, you'd run the risk of leaving too much of a footprint somewhere where it's out of your control. If it's at your house, you could at least have that sense like I'm in charge of this. But when you do it somewhere else, it seems like you're leaving.
You know, but
yeah,
it does. I agree to some point, but you know how we all live on our laptops nowadays. You travel, you take it somewhere else. Your sense of security is what's on your laptop. Internet is just the conduit, the way it's changed over the years to get out to where we want to be. For example, social networks. You hop on Facebook, YouTube, do whatever you do on your devices, and you go and you feel secure. You join your groups. You have your certain friends. You don't think twice about it. An internet connection is an internet connection. I've got a 10 and 12-year-old. All they care about is we got electricity and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You know, and they just jump from house to house, and they just think whatever's on their device is secure. And, you know, it's a sickness. So if it was his buddy and you're sitting there and we're conducting business, but you want to download a bunch of videos to go, you know, spank off to tonight. Well, while I'm in the background on my laptop, no one can see what's being downloaded. I'll just download a bunch of videos.
Yeah.
You know, and you, next thing you know, you take it at home, then you got your private moment.
Now,
So, you know, that's the sad part.
Does it change at all when you're dealing with a celebrity? And I you know,
Use that loosely.
very loosely when talking about Jared, but the fact is, he's
but you know,
he's a public figure, and the problem is being a public figure, it's going to hit the international press. And so is that even in your head, or are you focused on something? Because the fact is forever his name is now got child porn attached to it, whether it's true or not. Does that even come into play, or is that irrelevant?
It does on the prosecutor side. When we start tracking this stuff, I basically get an IP address, right? I see some guys downloading daddy-daughter sex. I get the IP address and I start backtracking it. There's 5 or 6 different warrants or steps to track it back through your email account, to your service provider, back to a billing address. So when an investigation starts, you don't know who's behind that email or that IP address. But then when that name comes back, you're like, oh boy, here we go. Now, as a cop, I know damn well he's got a ton of money. You know, you'd think after all the commercials, he's got a nice little nest egg.
15
He's
mil.
going to get himself a nice attorney. Right. So he's got cash. He's not going to, you'd think he's smarter than the average Joe. I better make sure all my paperwork's in order, because he's going to get some high price attorney that's going to look for some clause, or I didn't, dot an I or put a period in the right spot to get this guy some type of leniency. So basically what happens is when I get toward the end of my investigation and ask for a search warrant to, a high profile person's house, the prosecutor's going to go through it with a fine tooth comb and say, you know what you're dealing with. Like, yeah, well, here's the evidence. Here's my first step, second step, third step, fourth step is this guy. Here's what we did. And if they agree, well, you did everything right, go do what you have to do.
So my question is, would it from the outside while you're doing an investigation, would there be clues to like, oh, it looks like this Jared guy got fucked by his former employer here. This falls into line from what I can see from the outside of something this partner of his was doing. We should check Jared's stuff just to be sure, but by all accounts, it looks this way. And so does that change anything? Would you be able to tell that or no?
And see, that's where the alarming thing is, because, all right, let's say it was like, if I'm doing the investigation on his former partner, Russell Taylor, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe, okay, Russell's got all this stuff and Jared might have got his internet used. I might have done a knock and talk where we say we've gone up to Jared's house, because the news even says Jared over the last month has been cooperative about talking about his former colleague and everything else. We might have said, Jared, look, there's that internet activity on your house. We need to check your computers to make sure everything is on the up and up. However, as a cop, if I don't think Jared's going to be cooperative, or there's more to it than just, hey, maybe he hopped on his internet, we wouldn't say anything to Jared, and we would go the route that the cops are going right now.
Yeah.
And hit his door. That way he didn't cover anything. And like I said, these guys, it truly is a sickness. I've got guys that we arrested 18, 19 years ago that have left the state. I'm getting calls from other states saying, hey, guess who we just rearrested for reoffense?
Wow.
They get on the internet, find like-minded individuals that make them feel comfortable with what they do, and that's what they do. So, I mean, you and I, we sit around and think how disgusting it is, but there's always that creep down the road that, well, yeah, everybody in your neighborhood thinks it's gross. Well, some guy 5 neighborhoods thinks it's okay, so now he's got a buddy.
Yeah.
And the internet brings the world closer together. It's the same way I used it before. The KKK recruits on the internet. ISIS finds people all over the world. It brings these creepy-minded individuals together where they sit behind a computer and think, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
So
just
it really is. Yeah, it really is, because of, like I said, the celebrity we talked about is I really think they have to have something solid, knowing that you're going to ruin this guy's reputation.
Yeah. Subway severed ties.
Victim.
Yep.
Yeah, and darn well. All right, so if I go in as law enforcement and I'm the investigator, and all of a sudden I make this big hubbub, and Jared now lost his meal ticket, okay, his low-fat subs and his big boy pants, and he loses his job because I got overzealous. I guarantee you he's going to be suing the living shit out of me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, lawyer boy there will tell you. He'd be standing in the line going, hell yeah, we're suing the cops. And especially
character assassination.
Nobody loves the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a lawyer. You got to take your shots when you can get it.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
But
so you're.
That's the issue is I know, as I would be, extra cautious.
Yeah, and so all signs point to the notion that it is Jared specifically being targeted here, rather than, as you say, under other circumstances, it probably would have been a knock and talk and investigated some other means. So they must really feel that there's something here with him specifically, and not just his business partner. So I guess we'll see how it breaks over the next few days.
Yeah,
absolutely. Get an investigative subpoena, call his lawyer and say, hey, look, we need to look at this to clear him. I mean, he may be an innocent victim as well. His reputation is already somewhat smeared. I'm sure the relationship with Subway was, tumultuous after your buddy is locked up. In fact, I read that his former colleague actually tried to commit suicide over it.
Right.
Yeah.
To me,
yep.
When a guy's locked up on those type of charges and tries to hang himself in jail, I want to say it's almost like an admission of guilt.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't been proven anything, but I don't know too many innocent people that are stringing themselves up.
True. Well, if you hear anything in talks with buddies, in inner circles, let us know, man. I'd love to. Maybe we'll catch up with you in a few days as more information about this comes out. You guys got my number for sure, but no, like I said, I'm pretty sure, because I mean, darn well, being a celebrity, if the cops are out front, someone's going to tweet it, post it on Facebook. I mean, it broke in the media at the crack of dawn this morning. Yep.
It was tweeted out. I'm looking here on one of the local channels had a helicopter up at 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
The feds know that's going to happen, so they're pretty squared away with what they do. They're not going to make any mistakes, and we'll see how it plays out. I mean, he severed ties pretty quickly with Subway.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
If Subway's paying me that kind of money and I didn't do anything wrong, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not severing ties. You can go and fire me through court, but I'm going to milk that paycheck as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good run.
Yeah,
definitely did.
It's 200 pounds or whatever he lost in his Fat Boy. I mean,
yeah.
I got to say though, some of the pictures on the internet of the Jared names are quite humorous. So I'm sure you guys have seen those as well.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Aaron, thank you so much for the time, dude.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it and making some sense out of how this all works.
Yeah, and if I hear something, I'll shoot you guys a text, and keep up the good work. I enjoy the show.
Appreciate it,
buddy. Thanks, Aaron.
Later, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Take care. Wow.
Oof. Be interesting to see the next week or so what comes out.
Yeah, and I think he's absolutely right that they're not going to go blow up someone's scene unless
they would have given him every opportunity to do things on the down low.
Yeah,
and to help them if it were just this partner, right?
Yeah.
So we're not saying he did it, but we're saying that the feds obviously are targeted him.
They think something's going on.
Oof. Yeah. Hey, let me introduce the all-new 2015 Ford Transit Connect van. Didn't Bob work in transit?
He did.
Bob Walters. Transit.
Bob Walters.
Ford is back in the minivan business, and they're back with a vengeance with a best-in-class fuel economy of 30 miles per gallon. New Transit Connect van can be configured and customized more than any minivan on the market. Plus, all this comfort, convenience, and luxury can be had for only $195 per month at Zot Ford and Holly. It's time to dump that antiquated, outdated grocery getter you're driving. Jump into an all-new Ford Transit Connect minivan at Zot Ford. Again, lease this sweet machine for just $195 per month for a short 24-month lease. Hurry down to Zot Ford at I-75 and exit 98 before the deal disappears like Big E while the king is reading today's email. That's Zot Ford and Holly. They are much closer than you think.
Bill Cosby.
The Cos.
We were talking about him yesterday, and we were wondering why the judge would
unseal
documents, court documents that are
what were the
sealed.
Arguments that went into that? We were kind of like
we were speculating some things, and we're getting a little bit of insight as to why those were unsealed. And I thought I saw today that Cosby's team had opportunities to seal these completely and let those lapse or something, which seems weird.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't that there are steps they can take and things levels they can go to make sure these never see the light of day. And those steps were either too much time went by and they didn't do that. I don't know how much
through the cracks, or it couldn't have been an intentional decision.
So anyway, there's a lot of people digging into this about the fact that he admitted to obtaining sedatives to drug young chicks for sex, Quaaludes specifically. The case was settled, as we mentioned yesterday, for an undisclosed sum in 2006, but key documents in the case have only been revealed this week. A judge agreed to release the files and describe Cosby as a public moralist, which he said was in stark contrast to someone who was the subject of such serious allegations concerning improper, perhaps criminal conduct. Cosby made the admission during testimony in this civil case in 2005 brought by Andrea Constant. And more than 40 women, remember we were talking that yesterday too, 40 chicks have now come forward, which kind of pisses me off because I'm seeing over and over and over people like, why did it take this quote from the Cosby deposition before people believed these women? Why wasn't their word good enough? It just goes to the bigger problem that rape victims, blah, blah, their voice isn't heard and da-da-da. And I'm going, I don't think anybody was saying that they didn't believe these women.
I know. I think
at all.
The contrary.
Yeah. I think
everybody was like, oh boy, what a creep.
Yeah. I mean, people definitely said, it brings into that weird area when it's like, well, I ended up seeing him a dozen more times and continuing to bang the guy after this so-called traumatic event took place, which always seems weird when you think of a rape victim.
And then there were also a bunch of stories that came out after. I think it was like Lou Ferrigno's wife who told this big story about how he forcibly kissed her once or some shit. It's like all these dumb stories like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think most people were kind of like, huh.
Yeah.
They weren't just immediately dismissing them. They was kind of looking at it going, wow, that seems to be a real pattern over a time frame of like 30 years. Same thing over and over. And unconnected women who know they're beyond the statute of limitations, know that women who are like, look, I'm not looking for a payout. I just got to tell my story.
Yeah.
Just
black, white, Asian, different ages.
Yeah.
Like there, like you said, there was no pattern, like, and it didn't seem like a money grab.
There was a pattern, but there was no connection. They were all independent people.
Yeah, from all over the country,
other than those connected by Gloria Allred.
Right. But it was like, I kept hearing people saying that, and it's like No, the fact that the problem was that the statute of limitations had run out on these things years ago, not a week ago, years ago. We're talking about the 80s, the 70s, when most of these happened. So what do you expect people to do? But I remember most people that talked about it, it was like a joke. It was like, well, yeah, clearly he did all this.
That, and honestly, like, what do you expect people to do when it's a total he said, she said issue, when there's no evidence other than their statements, right?
Right.
I mean, do you immediately expect everybody to believe the women?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Which
so,
is
sorry, you know, when you do get quotes out of him directly, then sure. Okay. Now there's that context of the thing. He admits to kind of the context, and we can talk about specifically what he admitted and what he didn't.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to that, but at least he's put the thing in context and said that drugs were involved. And so, okay, well, there's another piece to the puzzle, and it makes them even more credible.
Totally. Cosby testified he'd obtained 7 prescriptions for Quaaludes. They cause relaxation, sleepiness, occasionally a feeling of euphoria. They're highly addictive, not supposed to be taken in large quantities or while drinking. They take just 30 minutes to kick in, and they last up to 8 hours. High doses can cause severe confusion, almost complete loss of muscle control.
You could get a prescription for that?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Good old days, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the drug du jour.
Well, you always hear
70s,
about Hef,
60s.
right? That's Hef's big quote about the Quaaludes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, I guess, jars of Quaaludes in the mansion everywhere.
The Wolf of Wall Street. You saw that, right?
Yes, dude.
Wolf of Wall Street
Quaaludes.
was like, that was like the big drug.
The
that they were-
Ludes, that's right.
Yeah. Wasn't that when DiCaprio's talking on the payphone at the country club and crawling back to his
Great
car?
scene.
Oh,
And then
hilarious.
he thinks he drove home no problem, and then they show it actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smashed into everything. Great movie. Yeah, where's the Cosby part?
I think it's on the first page, the actual quote. And I think people have sort of jumped the gun here and saying like what this admission is.
Here, I'll read it to you and I'll get your opinion. So when you got the Quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use these Quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with? He replied, yes. And that's the quote you're seeing everywhere.
And everybody, smoking gun. It's not a smoking gun. The follow-up questions would have been the smoking gun, and those are the ones that his lawyer shut down and didn't let him answer.
Yes.
But this simply says replace the word Quaaludes with
Beer.
drinks. Yeah, or marijuana. It's like, okay, you were using that to kind of loosen the girl up for sex. That's I think what that can honestly be read as.
Yeah.
And that may have been honestly what he was answering.
Yeah.
You can't say that he said in that answer, yes, I use Quaaludes to drug chicks and roofie them so I could fuck them while they're incapacitated.
Yes.
It's not what he said.
Yeah. Because we've all been there. I think every guy that's being honest, especially guys that are our age, would go, yeah, we've gone to the bar. Why does he go to the bar and have a few drinks and then talk to
He wants
chicks?
them to make a mistake.
He wants
them drunk and loose and ready to make the worst mistake of their life.
Yeah. And
if I wanted to do it based on, I'd go to the bookstore or the church group, whatever. You go to the bar because you're hoping they're going to be drunk too.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, you spin some game, you get a little liquid courage.
Right. And so you're right. You could use that. Obviously, you could use that right there to say, oh my God, I use beer to
I
hook
want
up with
that
chicks.
chick to not be thinking clearly.
Yeah. I want it to be easier.
Yeah.
I want her to, you know, what did Hef used to call them?
Panty droppers.
Like panty liquefiers or something he would call Quaaludes. Those are panty removers. You know, some
thigh spreaders.
Thigh spreaders. That's what it was. Oh, those are my thigh spreaders. Fucking weirdo. But, you know, dude, I mean, that's what they say about beer. Panty dissolvers.
And back then, I don't know, like Quaaludes now sounds like a big deal, but back then, I think Quaaludes were just sort of like weed or something back then, right?
Yeah, muscle relaxers. Yeah. I don't know. They went out. They went where they invented in the 50s, and by the 70s or 80s they were gone.
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it was
the lemons, the 714s, the lemons. Those are they got in the
yes, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. It was a Schedule I drug in 84.
So that's when it ended. 85 was the last that they were making them legally.
Mm-hmm.
It said Mexico was producing them well into the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And they're huge in South Africa.
Yeah.
Even to this day.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And honestly, being a celebrity, he would have connections to get that shit if he wanted. He could probably get them today. Well,
we've all heard of
Spanish Fly.
Spanish
Fly. So the judge, here, I'll let you. Here's his decision. Towards the bottom, it goes for 1 to 2 pages there.
the stark contrast between Bill Cosby, the public moralist, and Bill Cosby, the subject of serious allegations concerning improper conduct, is a matter at which the AP, it's funny to hear an English judge say AP, really?
The Associated Press, yeah.
And by extension, the public has a significant interest. This case, however, is about Cosby's status as a public person by virtue of the exercise of his trade as a televised or comedic personality. Rather, Cosby has donned the mantle of public moralist and mounted the proverbial electronic or print soapbox to volunteer his views on, among other things, child rearing, family life, education, and crime. He has voluntarily narrowed the zone of privacy that he is entitled to claim. The crowd has spoken order!
Jesus. A Poos.
Poor Poos. Fix your ear, you look silly. Fix your ear, you look silly.
God, you just look dumb, Poos.
Proops. She was sound asleep until the crown had spoken.
So that's the judge's ruling. Pretty clear.
The
what
judge
his reasoning was.
basically is saying
He stepped out as a public moralist. It's not just a public figure. And so that's where that argument with the AP went.
Yeah.
Like it means there's less of an interest in protecting him because he steps out kind of further, put himself out there.
On the soapbox, it's not that he's a comedian. It's not that he's a public figure. It's that what he was saying in public makes this relevant and should be viewed by the public. Specifically, what he was talking about is this speech here. You want to hear a part of it? The pound cake speech, it's called.
In the old days, you couldn't hooky school.
Play hooky.
Because behind every drawn shade was an eye. And before your mother got off the bus into the house, she knew exactly where you had gone, who had gone into the house. Parents don't know that today. I'm talking about these people who cry when their son is standing there in an orange suit. Where were you when he was 2?
Totally agree with him.
Where were you when he was 12? Where were you when he was 18? And how come you don't know he had a pistol? These are not political criminals. These are people going around stealing Coca-Cola. People getting shot in the back of the head over a piece of pound cake. And then we all run out and we're outraged. Oh, the cops shouldn't have shot him. What the hell was he doing with the pound cake in his hand? Brown versus the Board of Education is no longer the white person's problem. We've got to take the neighborhood back. We've got to go in there. It's right around the corner. It's standing on the corner. It can't speak English. It doesn't want to speak English. I can't even talk the way these people talk. Why you ain't where you is, go where? I don't know who these people are. And I blamed the kid until I heard the mother talk. And then I heard the father talk. This is all in the house. Everybody knows it's important to speak English, except these knuckleheads. You can't land a plane with why you ain't where. You can't be a doctor with that kind of crap coming out of your mouth. Why can't you hit the streets?
So anyway, he goes on and on and on. And that speech and ones like it outraged especially the inner city communities were outraged by that. But there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. You know,
it's just amazing that he can compartmentalize like that.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah. That get on this moral high ground about how to raise your kids, how to, speak. And he goes on and on. And
then to allegedly do the unspeakable against, how many dozens of women.
Yeah. So anyway, it tells you, I think all you need to know about Cosby, and if anybody's on the fence, because I know there are supporters, I know there are people that still show up at his shows. The networks and TV Land, I think, announced that they're pulling all reruns. They suspended reruns of the Cosby Show. Those are all yanked for
TV Land did? Okay.
I think so. But oh shit, what was I going to say? God damn it. I had a point about the fact that when he's been cornered on anything, he's got, I think, 4 civil suits against him right now for defamation. Basically, he and his team or his lawyers have said, this is an outrage. These people are coming after this man with these lies. He's never done anything. You notice nobody in the Cosby camp is denying shit anymore. They're just not speaking about it. Mm-hmm. Cosby won't touch it. He spins the conversation. The one time he was cornered on this, when ABC did an interview with him, his lawyers are not calling people liars anymore.
He spun it in a weird way too, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a.
Well, they said, what do you do if someone comes up to you and some child comes up to you and says you're a hypocrite for your views? And he said, I don't think that would happen, first off, but if it did, I would tell them there are 2 roads you could go down in this.
Yeah, and he went off on this public moralist bullshit.
Yeah,
again, right?
You think you're going to be in 3 inches of water, but then your car gets stuck in the mud. And then do you want to go down that road? Or I was putting my dick where it doesn't belong.
Yeah, so he does this whole deal where he goes 5 minutes long, and you forget about what did I even ask him. And we played that interview, and we were like, why the fuck didn't you re-ask him the question? Why'd you let him get out of that?
Yeah.
It was such bullshit.
And he's sitting there with a team of attorneys, and it's ugly. But whenever you see someone like, you would think if he was not guilty, if he really didn't do any of this stuff, of course he'd be going, this is bullshit. I'm going to sue these people for, you defame me. Yeah. You've defamed me. Character assassination. This is lies. And he used to do stuff like that. Now they're suing him. And so you're seeing that go away, which tells you
a guy who has the means to do that, to strike back and really fight those legal battles, and he's not. And it's like, kind of says something.
Interesting.
Hey, we got to mention Krista Jelski, our friend from Remax Suburban. Are you thinking about buying or selling a home but aren't sure where to begin? Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban is more than happy to help. Set up an appointment with Krista, and she will simplify the process, even enough for like a Big E to understand. Like if Big E were to somehow have some real property to sell, she would be able to help him. She'd be able to simplify it to that degree to number one, talk with him, communicate with him.
Bold statement, Jay.
So that she could even get through to him. Okay, number one. And then secondly, to talk about the sale or purchase of real estate. That's how good she is.
She might be able to sell him like houses or hotels on a monopoly board, but
look, Biggie, I'm gonna trade you this property for 2 hotels. You could do that, right? She could figure that out.
I'm gonna give you 2 railroad pieces.
Get out of jail free card. Whoa, what the fuck?
What'd you do?
Holy shit, dude. The elastic around my microphone just went friggin' flying.
It did?
Yes.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
Oh my word.
Poof.
Just go?
I don't know.
I heard
flew
that.
past my head at a great rate of speed. A great rate.
You're not good with elastic. I see elastic now next to you.
I'm broken. A fidgeter. Have you noticed that?
You are a little bit of a fidgeter. So is E. You guys have that in common.
I got to finish my read though before we go on. Krista is so good at this process. She can even deal with a Big E. So don't feel overwhelmed by it. Contact her. Check out her website at KristaSellsHouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900.
Very good. Florida State University.
Oh, this was the big news today, the big talk.
Yes.
Imagine this. If this happened to your university where you have an amazingly talented recruit at quarterback, and he is
replacing the Heisman winner, who was the #1 pick in the draft.
So he's coming in as a freshman. You're geeked about it, going, all right, man, we got this guy. Yeah, he's going to be a little rough around the edges at first, but hugely recruited guy. He's going to be great. Well, he's seen on video cold cocking a chick at a bar.
Damn it.
Yeah. Florida State dismissed him. DeAndre Johnson is who we're talking about. The same day they dismissed him, the same day prosecutors released this video. Jimbo Fisher announced his immediate dismissal. I wonder if it would have been so immediate if the climate and culture had not changed around college and pro athletics over the last 2 years. You know what I mean?
If the Ray Rice hadn't happened, and
and all the shit they just went through with Jameis Winston,
right?
With his rape stuff. I mean, they're going for an undefeated season and a national title, but there was so much backlash with stuff like that. It's almost, usually stuff like this, and there's a history there with a ton of universities, kind of like calling the police station on the down low,
Sure.
like, yeah, what do we got to do to kind of sweep-a-roo this?
Video changes
incident.
everything, though. Video change. If this weren't on video, I could totally see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this video is pretty heinous, man.
Yeah, there's security camera video is what Jay's talking about. It appears the woman and Johnson were trying to get a position at the bar, kind of jockeying for position. It looks like a crowded bar, college bar. It's not clear whether she made contact, but Johnson responds by punching her in the face.
It's not clear if she made contact. She did, right?
I think so, yeah.
But whatever. That doesn't obviously allow for what he did.
She staggers. Her nose begins bleeding. The woman sustained bruising under her eye, swelling to the cheek and upper lip, small cut near the bridge of her nose. His attorney, Jose Baez, I'm assuming that's Jones' brother.
Jose Baez. Wasn't he the Casey Anthony?
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Holy shit.
Yep. According to Baez, the woman in question started shouting racial epithets at Johnson when he accidentally made contact with her walking up to the bar. He says Johnson then tried to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
He did.
But the woman kneed him in the balls.
He's 19. What's he doing in a bar? I can't believe he's drinking underage. That's the real crime here.
Absolutely. The bar should be under investigation. She claimed that Baez's attorney claims that he was kneed in the balls and took another swing before he retaliated.
Oh, so this is like a self-defense situation.
Absolutely.
And the racial epithet.
Right.
I mean, to be called that word, that excuses a punch to the face of a chick. Right, Mike?
Absolutely. Sure. It wasn't until she struck him twice that he reacted, but he is very regretful that he didn't turn and walk away immediately. He makes no excuses for what happened except for the racial epithets and the knee to the balls.
Right. I was kneed in the balls. I was struck. She called me the N-word. No excuses, though.
Is it, I know there are other people that are claiming they heard racial whatever's being thrown around too.
Who cares?
I agree. But don't you think in this climate, that's kind of the Hail Mary pass that can be lobbed up there like, oh, I just snapped because she called
you're right.
me the N-word.
It's a good play. If it didn't happen, and that'd be a great lie to make up. And if it did happen, that's a great circumstance for him because it definitely will cut against. I'm sure some people have a different attitude about it. Well, wait, she called him. Well, I could kind of see why you would do that. I definitely would think people out there in the public would think that. I personally don't. I think it's bullshit. I don't care what anybody says to you. Didn't we just discuss yesterday the old adage? What's the old adage?
I heard sticks and stones can break your bones, but words will never hurt you.
Words. Let's broaden it out and say words. Whatever. Dude, you're in that position. You're a fucking 5-star recruit coming into this program.
Mr. Florida football player.
What is going through your head? I get it. Like somebody frustrates you, they're disrespecting you, but something automatically needs to go off in your brain. If it's a girl, okay, different rule book in my head now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This girl's getting belligerent. I've got a different rule book in my head than I do if a guy's getting belligerent.
Dude, honestly, you're right. Of course you can't punch a girl, but I think it shouldn't matter who, guy or a girl. You're a freaking recruit.
You should be allowed to punch a guy in that situation.
Jay's punched you for Christ's sakes for much less.
I wouldn't do it.
You didn't yell the N-word at him and he decked you.
No, I honestly, I wouldn't blame him if a dude did what he's claiming.
Yeah, I still would.
Totally.
I still would.
I would admit, look, better judgment, walk away, be the bigger man, for sure. That would be the wise decision.
Especially with so much to lose. You're the one that has so much to lose. Some average 19, jackass.
Though, you're 19, you're right. You're full of testosterone. You're there to fucking prove you're the big guy. You're the, I could totally see me in that situation at 19 doing that if that's a guy.
Some guy.
That's a guy.
Yeah. That may be true. Do you think there are circumstances when you can deck a chick? Do you think
we talked about like coming at you with a fucking knife or something.
What if she points her finger in your face? Like gets close though. I mean, she's really close. She's like right there.
Wow.
I mean, just like a little one, open hand.
I think Mike really wants to get
my pimp hand is strong,
chick, dude. Like.
My pimp hand is strong. You better watch
pimp hand is strong with this one.
Yes.
Better watch it. I've got wheels on my chair and my pimp hand is strong, you son of a bitch.
This is the 5th time that you try to get Jay to admit there's a time to punch a girl.
Well, so I'm just curious. for the record, I've never punched a girl.
Maybe so.
I've never even thought about punching a girl.
Sounds like yeah.
But I honestly, I haven't. But you see this more and more.
Yeah, you see the chick is getting belligerent, and we talked about this
slapping and punching.
A day ago, I think we talked about how fucking annoying that chick is. The chick who wants to fight. Oh, she sucks. She sucks, but still, you can't fight her.
I thought we're all equal now.
Dude,
I mean, there's really no difference in the genders. That's what we're being taught. So which is it?
That is the funniest thing to me in that aspect.
No, you are unquestionably physically more powerful.
You're goddamn right we are. No, I don't think we are.
It would be the equivalent of me, like, a 12-year-old came up to me and poked me in the chest.
Oh, you gotta deck him.
Fucking deck him.
Take him down.
Take him down to Chinatown.
Yes, break him down a notch.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, should we watch the video?
Easy answer. No, you can't hit her.
So some chick walks up. You and Gab are sitting in the bar. Some chick walks up. She thinks she recognizes you as the guy that fucked her over. And she just walks up and goes, motherfucker, and cracks you in the nose. You're just going, well, she's a girl. Can't do anything there.
I would not hit her back.
I think in that scenario, I think I would beat her ass anyway. That'd be okay.
The three of us are out to lunch. And some chick walks up. And she's a big girl. And she comes up and she's like, you, Steve. She thinks you're Steve. And boom, right in the nose. And you're like, and she's still coming. Are you allowed to just an elbow? Nothing?
No, you're allowed to protect yourself from, I think, like death or dismemberment. But no, you're not allowed to just start whomping on this chick. You're just not.
Am I?
Hey, that's my rule. You can do whatever you want.
Will you have my back if that goes down? If some chick thinks I'm the wrong guy and decks me in the face, can I at least leg sweep her?
No.
Push her?
No. You can protect yourself from fucking death or dismemberment. That's it.
Well, my fear of death is much smaller than yours. I think I'm always under fear of death.
Yeah.
Always. I wish I was in Florida. I felt threatened for my life. So I shot her. Let's watch the video and we'll see if there's any different feeling about it.
Any different conclusion.
Yeah.
There we are, looking from above. Everything seems to be going swimmingly.
So there she is.
The victim arrives.
She's clearly
swooped at him. In. He's trying to muscle his way up to the bar. He's going, hey, bitch, I was here first.
Move, bitch. Oh, she's got a fist. She's pointing a fist. He grabs her arm. Hey, motherfucker.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Dude.
Ooh. She didn't see that coming.
That bartender didn't even hear anything. He just still stacking
Oh my
cups.
God, are you like okay?
Gosh, all to get a spot at the bar.
Are you like okay? Oh my God, I'm bleeding.
Oh my God, he hit her. Oh my God, he hit her.
No way.
Becky. Oh my God, Becky, are you okay?
Oh my God, did you see that? That guy like totally punched her.
Look at the bartender in overalls. Hold on. This is the most relevant piece of the video. Overalls and no shirt on. This hasn't been broken down yet. What's this guy doing? Are we at a gay bar?
Maybe. Isn't it funny? Do you think the reaction would have been different if it was a guy that got punched at the bar by a guy? Like,
what do you?
Well, like
if it was this guy,
yeah. Like it immediately goes to, oh my God, are you okay? Like, oh my God, I can't believe that just
holding
happened.
her hair, petting her hair,
this, that. Like if it was you that got punched, we'd either be laughing like, oh, you got fucked up.
Probably the whole fucking bar would have turned into a brawl. Right?
Yeah,
if it was two guys,
right?
Dude,
like everybody would have cleared because it would still be going on.
From this view, by the way, I gotta be honest. I don't usually stand up for the chick side, but
damn it.
I'm pretty. I mean,
look at that Red Bull insignia right there, displayed prominently. By the way, they got to be loving that.
I think they like that.
Yeah. I think he's an asshole on two accounts, dude. I don't think he had that spot at the bar even
close. Good point.
Dude.
Let's rewind a bit.
I'm not kidding, dude.
Yeah, she's got it.
I don't like to side on girls going to the bar because I always think they get the.
But we don't know how she weaseled her way to get that prominent position right there. She definitely has body position though. As they enter the video.
No, she has him.
Well,
dude.
she used the pick though. She used the pick. She used the Chinaman to pick.
Yeah, but
right.
But so does he. Look, if you back it up, look, he asked the black girl right here, and he's like, yo,
wait,
bitch.
Isn't that the Chinaman I just referred to?
Maybe.
Is that a black girl? All right.
I think it's a black girl. He's going, bitch, excuse me for a second. Let me get by you. And this bitch is leaning back like, fuck
No. She's got it.
No,
she's got position.
I'm trying to get in here.
It doesn't matter. She's in, dude.
But there's room for two. There's room for two.
No.
But he doesn't care about that anymore. He wants the position he once had or thought he had.
I think, dude, that he's an asshole on two things. I don't think he even was close to getting that position in the bar.
He's a rookie, man. He's 19, you know? He doesn't get it yet.
Yeah.
But I think the overalls are the biggest sin in this whole video.
Yeah.
Overalls and no shirt? Dude.
Yeah, she did take a swing at him first. Not that warranted it. I'm just saying.
She got pounded.
Yeah.
How do you snap that quick, man?
Right there. Ooh.
You gotta suggest that you gotta. I mean, I hate to make that a alleged statement, but if you're able to if you snap there, I would never snap like that.
It's bad judgment, dude. It says a lot about your character.
Punch him in the nose real quick. See if he snaps.
I probably wouldn't, to be honest with you.
He'd turtle is what he would do.
Yeah,
we've seen this before.
That's true.
But I'm a weird. I guess I conflict is just like you. I'm not. I guess I don't know.
His lawyer did come out and say that.
Baez, right?
Yeah, Jones' brother. Said that DeAndre is extremely embarrassed by this situation and would like to express his heartfelt apologies to everyone, including those who were directly affected, Coach Fisher and his teammates, the entire Florida State University, as well as family and friends. Johnson is trying to learn and grow from this experience and is currently participating in community service and faith-based programs.
Oh, of course.
Oh, boy.
Focused on battered women, substance abuse, and the empowerment of children.
This was his own choice, too. Nobody had to suggest that to him. He did that all on his own.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seeking out help.
Right?
Like, I could see it now. He's going to the church leaders and going, I don't know what to do. I want to punch women in the face really bad. And someone's telling me that's not the thing to do. And I need some faith-based healing here. Like, isn't that something you learn at 2?
Yeah, dude, if you have the capacity to, in that situation, we just saw the whole conflict right there, where a chick throws a little crazy, crappy cute against your cheek, and you have the capacity to pull back and fucking wail her in the face.
Yeah,
you got serious character issues, man.
Yeah.
So is he going to end up at like Montana State Community College with J. Rue Campbell?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Someone will take a run on him.
Yeah.
Would you care if he went to Michigan State?
Yeah, I would. Just like I cared if J. Rue Campbell would have gone to Michigan State.
But they could be sweet. I mean, he's Mr. Florida.
He could be like Randy Moss had that situation.
Would you care?
Randy Moss
Michigan?
was a Florida State guy, right? And then Notre Dame also, and then he ended up at Marshall.
Yep, totally.
I don't know.
Come on. Harbaugh's like,
I don't go to Michigan. What do I care? I don't go to that school.
We believe in redemption here at Michigan.
Right.
This is Michigan.
Oh, that's not how Harbaugh talks.
Well, whatever. You know what? You
Harbaugh.
got our point.
Did you just call him Harbaugh?
Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Harbaugh.
Who cares?
This is Michigan. This is Michigan.
I'm so glad.
We believe in second chances at Michigan.
So glad
he's gone.
You know what was funny is I was watching the Big Ten.
This is Michigan, okay?
Right. I was watching the Big Ten Elite. They have this programming on the Big Ten channel where they showed just past champ. Anyway, they went through the 97 championship team, and he was on there. Hoke was on there talking, and it was like,
even in that line coach or something.
Yeah, or something. And even in that program, I was just pissed every time he talked. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You sucked.
He was bad.
Did he sound the same way?
Yes, he's in there. Oh, we knew what we had to do. Just saying.
Knew what we had to do. This is Michigan. This line is worthy of being called Michigan Wolverines.
I really hated that I was watching this perspective on, even though it was 97 and like you said, he was just like a lineman coach. I hated that he was on this perspective. I wish they'd pulled him off the perspective of it.
Yeah, you said that. Should we take a break?
Yes. Why don't you mention that first?
Yeah, the Amazon link.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. You guys both sit there.
What?
What, your ass? Fuck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was wrong with what I just said?
Nothing.
I was trying to correct an issue.
Absolutely. That's what I heard.
With personnel, with staff.
I didn't get it.
Was that the wrong time to correct that? Should I have done that off the air?
I don't think so. I found that there was no crime committed at all. No foul at all. I did not. I swallowed my whistle on that. I did not see a foul.
The Amazon link. Do you want a chance to talk about that, or should I?
Do not.
Okay, the Amazon link. You'll see it on our homepage, DetroitCast.com. Check it out. Shop through Amazon, and Amazon will give us a small kickback on everything you buy. So it's a great way to donate to the show without pulling out your wallet, pulling out your checkbook, and writing us something. So it's easy. It's simple. It really helps. So please don't forget to do that. And please pass on the word to do that.
We'll come back in a moment. We'll talk about the local cancer doctor, Dr. Fatah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Tough story.
Yeah. Very tough story. We'll do that and much more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey there, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford in Holly. Right now, lease the all-new 2015 Ford F-150 Super Cab XLT 4x4 for only $286 a month. Friends, this flagship of trucks is loaded with an EcoBoost engine, satellite radio, rear view camera, remote start, chrome package, trailer tow package, plus about a million more bells and whistles. We have tons of the new 2015 F-150 in stock, and you can lease it for as low as $286 per month from Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98. More importantly, I want to say thank you to all the TDC listeners that have already leased or bought a new vehicle from Zott Ford. Thank you. You guys are the best. Folks, check out our filthy deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com. Get there.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Wednesday with Mike and Jay. And before the break, we had mentioned this doctor, local guy, getting international press for this story. It's crazy. Dozens of patients today confronted their doctor, who's going to be jailed for misdiagnosing cancer and unnecessary treatments. I don't know why. Like, I know people are fucked up, but
that's the extreme of greed, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times you hear these stories like those American Greed. I don't have cable, but I understand there's a show on called American Greed.
Sure.
And oftentimes they're, just people who set up scams and shit. And it's sort of easy to think that there's no real victim or the victim's on paper or something. But these victims are right in front of you. You're putting them through unnecessary cancer treatment, allegedly.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
It's crazy. And you just think of doctors as a different level completely. Yeah. Like what they've gone through.
Way above that sort of malfeasance.
Yes. They've taken the oath.
The oath, Mike.
They've taken the oath.
My word is as strong as oak.
It's right. There's my man. Dr. Farid Fatah netted millions by putting at least 533 people through unnecessary treatments, telling many they had cancer when they didn't, and then he would bill the insurance company. Yeah. He pled guilty to 16 charges, including fraud, conspiracy, money laundering. He's being forced to hear the ordeals of people whose lives he ruined.
Yeah, put aside the physical aspect of going through that treatment, but the psychological torment.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I have cancer. Holy cow.
But then you find out you don't really have cancer, so that's kind of great news.
It's got to be a great feeling.
It's got to be the worst feeling in the world, and then like this guy's giving you the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah,
but don't actually have it.
You hear those stories though, where they tell you like, "Oh, you're gonna die in 6 months," and they just start, spending everything.
Yeah, bucket list comes to the forefront.
Quit their job. They're like, "Fuck it, I got 6 months," and then it's
that might be the biggest favor you do for a person, though, right?
Right.
Finally living life.
Yeah.
Fada's got something there.
That's a good point. I guess. Except when you're done living life and then you're healthy and now you need money again, and you told your boss to fuck off.
But you had a hell of a 6 months. You had a hell of a 6 months.
Yeah.
Nearly 36 ex-patients, most of them dressed in all black, showed up. They had a chartered bus that they took to court. It was the first time any of these victims had seen Fada in years. Robert Sobere never had cancer. 2 years of treatment caused him to lose all of his teeth.
Oh my God.
And now he has a permanent twitch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is worse, the twitch or the teeth?
The teeth.
For sure.
Yeah, I could handle like doing that.
Twitches would be that'd be annoying.
Twitches would
it'd be annoying for everybody.
But
at least the teeth, it's just your thing.
You know what though?
The twitch bothers all of society,
though, dude.
How many times have you been bothered by the lazy eye? I think the twitch would be similar.
Yeah, the lazy eye does suck.
But you're affecting a lot of people with that fucking lazy eye, dude. Same with the twitch.
Couldn't you make fake teeth though? Now that I think about it.
But I have some fake teeth in my head, and let me tell you something. Not an hour goes by that I don't like that they don't feel fake to me.
Really?
Yeah, my tongue goes across, and I just think, fuck.
Yeah.
So if they were all fake, I can only
complete dentures or implants. Got to get all implants. Wow.
Yeah. Karen Baldwin's husband died after his care in 2006. This Steve Kurzpak. Can't these people have Smith and Jones names? Why do people always have to have Lakes Minivan USA names? Why? Why do you do that to me?
What an inconvenience for you.
SKRZYPCZAK.
Yeah, you throw in a P and a Z, and it's like, I'm lost.
That's really selfish of these people to not only have fake cancer and be in this story, but also
I know they've been through enough. The last thing they need is me butchering their name. So it's not fair to this. Yeah, Kriplowicz.
Yeah, Kriplowicz.
Kriplevich. But I need someone to tell me over and over how to say Steve's check.
Wanowski's.
He was ordered to undergo chemo when he didn't even have cancer. This is a small fraction of the people this guy has hurt. Terry Spurlock said, she's from Holly, Michigan, who had 3 more years of treatments after a tumor on his neck disappeared. So,
damn, you gave me a tumor on my neck.
You treated a tumor that had gone away on my neck, man. He gave me so much treatment, it stopped my immune system. Geraldine Parkin She said her husband Tim had survived non-Hodgkin lymphoma, but has other chronic problems because of excessive treatments. In the hearing, the court heard how Fata administered stunning doses of a powerful, expensive drug, exposing them to life-threatening infections. So this other doctor, Harvard medical professor, said the drug was called rituximab, can weaken the immune system if overused. It's typically given 8 times for an aggressive lymphoma. Excuse me. Easy for me to say, right? One patient got it 94 times.
Whoa.
Yeah. This guy says in extreme cases, they'll give it 8 times.
I wonder what he billed for that total. What did he profit off that?
Yeah, I don't know. Another got it 76 times.
Holy shit.
The government said 553 people have been ID'd as victims, along with 4 insurance companies. There were more than 9,000 unnecessary infusions or injections. There's an aggressive approach to treating cancer. This was way over the top. It's a stunning number of injections of that drug. According to prosecutors, Fata systematically defrauded Medicare by submitting false claims for services that were medically unnecessary. He defrauded the federal-funded healthcare program out of roughly $35 million in 2 years. In 2 years. Jeff Burks of Utica said his father, Milton, died in 2008 after a year of being, he was diagnosed with leukemia. He recalled the 81-year-old getting treatments while sitting in Fata's parking garage. He told my dad it would make it easier. His kidneys eventually failed.
Jesus.
Wouldn't you kill this guy? I think you want to.
That's as heartless as it gets, man.
Yeah.
If it happened.
Yeah. Well, he pled guilty to 16 charges.
Okay, well,
so
it happened.
Yeah.
It was preventative. He's trying to, you got anything in there? We're going to shock it out of you.
They were prosecutors, I think, were asking for 125 years in prison. And his team says no more than 20. So there's a bit of a balance there. We'll see where this.
That toy got 22 the other day.
I know, and she made the lives of 3 young men.
Yeah.
This
guy wants 20. Come on.
Give him 20, right? Breaking news today. Harry Shearer.
I know.
Simpson.
Yeah, you don't need to send in your tape.
He's back.
What?
You don't have to send in your tape now.
That sucks. I was getting ready. What? I was getting ready to record that too.
Yeah.
Ahoy, hoy.
You heard.
Ahoy,
Should have hurried up.
Oh, hello, Mater.
Oh, hello, Mater.
Have you had
what?
Have you had what?
But you can't do the other voices. That's the only problem, can you? I mean, can you do Jasper? Can you do?
I'm sure I could if I tried.
Jasper?
Well, which one's Jasper?
Ken Brockman?
I can't remember. No, remember we were going to have to hire a bunch of other people to do roles because I was just going to be the guy that went, Simpson?
What's the meaning of this slacking off?
What's the meaning of this slacking off?
Oh, yeah, even that's not that
I'll
great.
have my lunch now.
I'll have my lunch now.
Some good shredded wheat, some steamed toast,
and
a dodo egg.
That's great. A dodo egg?
A dodo egg.
You've made a powerful enemy today, my friend. That's right after that.
Ooh, you've made a powerful enemy today, my friend.
As he orders his meal to the
I'll have my lunch
candy,
now.
Yeah, to the candy machine.
Extra cheese? What do you take me for, Lorenzo de Medici?
Ooh, is my face red?
Ooh, is my face red?
Guys,
Extra cheese? What do you take me for, Lorenzo de Medici?
The whole ridiculous part of that joke is like he's asking him what he wants on his pizza, and like extra cheese puts him out. So what was okay?
Ordering out. What would you like in your pizza pie?
Right.
We're ordering out. What would you like on your pizza
So
pie?
what was acceptable? Just why even ask if extra cheese was too much?
Terribly sorry.
I love how he's trying to dissect the nature of the joke.
Right.
Each
sarcasm.
Yeah. Mr. Burns' statements, he is trying to dissect.
I know, though. I
do
that with Simpsons jokes. So I watch episodes and just in my own mind, I've seen them so many times that I just like to take the jokes in that at serious level.
Ahoy, hoy, Executive VP. I'm putting the final touches on my speech to the investors, and I need your generous guffaws.
That's when Homer's getting high
Sweet.
for his eye problem.
Did you see the video that Fox put out today?
No.
Of Homer being one of the. See if you can find this, K-Dog. They released a scene of him being at Trump's speech.
Oh boy.
Yeah, where he's one of the paid people. Like they were reportedly paying people like $50 to stand there and act like they were pro-Trump.
Gotcha.
And Homer gets propositioned on the street to be part of, do you care who's running for president? No. They're like, come with me.
Homer would, yeah.
Yeah, funny. I'll pull it up. But Harry Shearer, Burns is back. Shearer signs that deal 7 weeks after tweeting that he was leaving the show. He's back now. He signed the same contract as did the 5 primary voice actors. You know, Yeardley Smith, Dan Castellaneta, Julie Kavner, Nancy Cartwright, Hank Azaria, all of them.
Do you think he really did? That was the same contract he was offered before, right?
I know, but
do you think there's something else in there? There's got to be, right?
Listen. He gets paid $300,000 an episode. He can sit in his house and record those. He does table reads from his house.
Awesome.
So he does, like, literally, he doesn't have to leave his house.
Yeah.
He's not on camera. He just gets to do a voice recording like this.
Yeah.
Extra cheese. What do you take me for, Lorenzo de Medici?
And then he's done.
They're like, okay, good. That's a wrap. And he's like, all right, cool. And then $300,000 comes for that. So after a few weeks of sitting at home going at, what is he, 66, 67 years old?
Like thinking, why turn this faucet off, right?
Yeah. So he signed a new 4-year deal with him. And
especially when it seemed like what his big deal was that he wanted to, this
pursue other projects.
Right, this wasn't allowing him to. He's 66. I get that you're an actor, and maybe at points you're always just like you always want to keep looking for a next thing. You never. But man, dude,
well, I'm a total outsider to the show, as you know. But it sounds like to me,
what?
It sounds like to me he does like 60 characters or some shit. So he's way more important than the others.
Yeah, he and Dan Castellaneta do the most. I think
so. He would be the hardest to
like
replace.
22. Yeah, it'd be really hard to
have gotten a different deal.
They said he signed the same contract that the others were offered. So I don't know. I mean, I suppose they could be lying about that, but that's what they said.
Maybe they threw in a Detroit Cast hat or something.
That could be.
Check out our merchandise page, by the way.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you haven't,
go
to DetroitCast.com. There you'll see Help the Show or merchandise, I believe, is a tab. Check it out. Some good stuff on there.
Absolutely. You want to see Homer real quick? This is the clip they released today. I know Jay probably doesn't care, but
no, I don't.
It was just released today.
Short sleeve dress shirt.
Can you hold a sign?
You know it.
$150.
Woohoo!
Do you care who the next president is?
No.
Come with me.
Hey.
McDonald. Yeah, the rendering is pretty sweet.
I'm right behind him. Not supposed to stare at it directly, but I can't help it.
Staring at his
if
hair.
I touch it, will it heal my baldness?
Came out like tentacles, grabbed him.
The wing on a bird.
Oh, it's so wispy. It's a gravity-defying comb-over.
It's flying inside his hair.
This was once on his ass.
Sasquatch walked
It's
by.
as blonde as a golden marmoset, yet also gray as a long dead donkey.
Jeez, there's a lot of.
I'm so jealous of all those booby women he's married. If he paid less than $1 million for it, it's a steal.
I am officially running.
No! Don't take me out of the ginger forest!
Ginger forest.
Yeah. At least I'll always have this.
Stole a follicle.
Yeah, it's flying back to Trump Towers.
Oh.
Anyway, that's
There was a lot in that hair. If you saw some of those signs, even the Macy's Get Out. There was an NBC like parking.
Yeah.
I got so trained from The Simpsons over the years. Those weren't that small, but like reading little signs in the background. That is one thing you just get used to with The Simpsons is always looking for stupid little things in the background.
Little jokes they bury in there.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, well, Jay doesn't find it funny, even though it's like one of the most successful cartoons of all time. But, you're right.
It's interesting, but, to talk about on a podcast, I'm not sure. Chris Stajelski, got to mention her. Maybe your Proops needs a bigger yard. Maybe your family is expecting their very own little sweet pie. If you're looking for a new home, Chris Stajelski of Remax Suburban is the realtor you need to help you find the home of your dreams. Check out her website, KristaSellsHouses.com, or call her anytime, 586-918-0900.
Not getting that promotion you deserve. Well, been there, right?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe not. Eve, you ever been there where you feel like
no,
he knows he hasn't deserved them. He knows it.
They've there's a new survey by Career Builder they've interviewed bosses and they're identifying what's holding people back.
There's some obvious ones, right?
Yeah. Non-traditional piercings. So they're willing to let earrings go on dudes or whatever, but when you get those big, what do they call those?
Gauges?
Oh,
gauges.
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't get the gauges.
I don't
call me an old man, but
Call me an old man. I don't get that either. When you see some of those where it's just like, dude. Like I can even get behind the tattoos
for sure. Tats or piercings I can get behind, but that's like,
that's like right out of.
It doesn't. It just doesn't look good to me. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
it's right out of putting a hockey puck in your chin.
Yeah,
like some tribal communities will do.
Yeah,
it's got the same kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe we're just getting old. Shitty clothing, having a negative attitude, and tardiness are on their list. It looks at so this survey looked at behavioral and physical issues that can be impeding your career success. They said employers cited provocative clothing. So if you're showing too much titty or too much balls, they don't tend to dig that very much. Wrinkled clothes,
balls, like
some guys.
Sure.
He's got his balls hanging out of his shorts.
Loose running shorts.
I can't promote him. I mean, I see his balls every day. I can't do it.
I can't have him in front of customers.
Wrinkled clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at me for?
I don't know.
He fits every one of these so far, except for one. Except for one.
Not actually.
There's one.
This doesn't count, dude. This place that I'm going to Mike's house does not count. The only real job I've had in my life, I didn't do this stuff at.
Okay.
So.
Well, you've been up for promotions and you've been passed over a few times here. Well,
please name examples.
That's behind the scenes. You don't need to worry about that. But other people have been promoted.
There's been some things that we've discussed, and we
just
decided against it. There's too many.
I'm all right with that.
Black marks.
So I was gonna have to take on more responsibility and still zero funds.
Yeah.
No, it came with quite a salary upgrade.
Did it?
But yeah.
Okay.
No, let's be honest. It was zero funds, but it was more responsibility.
Yeah.
And it would have been more prestigious.
Wrinkled clothes or shabby appearance.
Ooh.
Piercings outside of the traditional ones. Clothing that's too casual for the workplace.
Huh.
Like, I don't know. Pajama pants. Tearaway pants.
With Pistons pants over them.
Yep. Visible tattoos.
There's no visible tattoos.
Okay.
If you take off that whatever suit coat you're wearing, what is that? Kind of a pseudo suit coat over
I've worn
a t-shirt.
it several times, so it's not like this is the first
Okay,
time.
but there's visible tattoos if you take that off.
Okay.
That's true.
You can see under your Big E's sports grill.
Unprofessional haircut.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
He's cool there, I believe.
I mean, it's a professional haircut. A professional did it, but to his requirements, it certainly looks unprofessional.
Unprofessional facial hair.
Oh boy, yeah.
We know how they feel about beards at the firm.
Well, beards that are sort of half shaven with a pube shaver. If you shave your pubes and your beard with the same razor, I think that's a problem.
Too much makeup. I think you're good there, E.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, that's good. Tardy, not being tardy and not wearing too much makeup.
Yeah, the little bit of rouge that he uses, I think, is well within the definable parameter.
Sure, I would agree.
Look at that facial hair.
Oh, what an asshole.
The dog just pulled up an image. Let's set aside the dyeing of said hair and look at that beard. The beard comes winding around. It's a cat tail, right?
Cat tail, totally.
So it comes winding down his side of his face,
sideburns,
under his chin, up into his stash, and then ends. Yeah,
an inch from connecting all the way.
Yeah, so it's basically a cat tail coming off his sideburn,
and then he's dyed it black
to give it stripes,
to give
like
it
a
stripes.
tabby cat.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then they say bad breath.
Oh yeah,
is on the list. That's a problem. Too much perfume or cologne also on the list,
unless it's Colors by Benetton.
Right. Pessimistic attitude.
Oh yeah, that's there with this one for sure.
Chronic lateness, vulgar language.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you, Jay. Fuck you.
Yep, that would be on the list. Cutting out of work early on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, yep.
What?
Spending work time on social media
accounts.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh, that's devastating. That hurts. That's tough. Not cleaning up after oneself.
Someone's own Facebook page is open the whole show as well.
Yeah,
It's
and
research.
And why is that Facebook page open, do you think?
It's there.
Dude, if you think this is open for like some personal,
you're on social networking during the show.
Right, because I'm on a show and I'm watching posts and so forth. I'm even checking large media outlets to make sure that we're not missing a story, unlike what our producer is doing. Our producer is over here
listed under any of my
conversing
social
with
networking of what I
TCG.
do, by the way. That's not under any of my social networking as my status. It's not on my Instagram, Twitter.
Why are you getting so
Facebook.
defensive about it?
I know.
It doesn't apply.
What are you
I mean,
talking about, man?
Oh, crazy. Yeah, you fucking
We're not even
Christ.
talking about you. We're reading this survey.
Who was
Not cleaning up after oneself.
Oh.
Always initiating non-work related conversations with coworkers.
You ever come down here before a show?
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Taking personal calls at work. That's the last one on there.
Yeah, more personal texts. Again, I've only seen him on the phone once or twice in my life.
Yeah, nobody calls him. So yeah, he doesn't do too much of that.
He doesn't. Honestly, I can think of 2 times I've seen
I
that
just don't do
Fufasa
it here.
as well.
I just don't do it here. I mean, I talk on the phone all the time. Just not when I'm here.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't want you guys because I know if I call someone, I have to go outside because I don't feel like talking around everybody. So
yeah.
So promptness and not leaving early, I think, are his strong points. If we're going to apply this to E, I mean, do you want to apply that to E?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are the 2, and then otherwise, boy, ugh.
Yeah. Not doing so well. I mean, if you're looking to climb the corporate ladder,
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's satisfied
God.
just sitting there and just staring at his computer for a couple hours a day.
You're right.
And then pushing a mop around Zotford.
Well,
perfectly satisfied.
I asked him to look up a number, so we'll see. His success rate has been less than stellar with phone numbers, but we'll give him another shot tonight. I think
11:30 at night.
Yeah, why not? Would you, by the way?
No.
Despite
what people.
That is so. Oh God, man.
Yeah, this chick that's been arrested, and this has been going around like crazy today. This story. She was arrested after she attacked her boyfriend in a drunken rage.
Did she happen to bite him with
I
that grill?
hope not.
That grill could do some major damage, dude.
Yeah.
The snaggle-toothedness.
It's worse than anything I've ever seen.
I know. I've never seen anything like it. It's like out of a horror movie. I'm sorry. It is.
Yeah. The reason she went into the drunken rage is because he refused to have sex with her. Tabitha Grooms is her name. She's from Georgia.
Oh, Lord.
She was taken into custody for assaulting her boyfriend, Carlos Grace, and then punching her mother in the face.
Why is he even dating her?
I know. I kind of want to know what Carlos looks like, see what we're dealing with here. Yeah.
I mean, he should be refusing to, like, when you say refusing sex with her, it'd be like, I got kind of pictured that they were at a bar one night and she hit on this guy and he's like, whoa, I'm good.
No, I think they're an item.
No, that's
like
what it's
married.
like.
I think they have kids, right?
I don't know.
God,
I don't know
have
if
they made it? Is she spawned? She kind of looks like a gremlin from Harry Potter.
Does she?
Or those trolls who control the bank.
Yeah.
Ever see?
I don't remember that. No. She's kind of got pretty eyes.
Shut the.
I mean, seriously, like
You can't even go there, dude. You can't even. No.
They're light. I like light eyes.
They're,
and they're
glassy and squinty. They're weasel like.
Yeah.
She looks like a shrew. She's a shrew.
Yeah.
She's got a titty tat.
Oof.
I'll tell you what, the profile is like 900 times better than the straight on, but
yeah,
my Lord, I'm so sorry.
If you just saw the profile one, would you be like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a run.
No, I think the profile is. I don't think it's any better. I think it's just as bad because I think you just see her hair, which looks like it's
looking good.
You don't think that profile is like 900 times better?
Okay, I think it's better, but I don't think it's much better.
Imagine looking at her from the side, though.
Better.
You're considering it from the side, and then she turns her head. It's like a horror
But I'm
movie.
saying I wouldn't even consider it from this side.
I would expect a snake to come out of that mouth. I'm serious.
I know. It looks like a scene from right.
Yeah. Like if she had a split tongue that came out and went,
yeah. Yeah.
Like I could see that coming out of that mouth.
Yeah. I feel bad saying that, but I agree with you, Mike.
She came home around 11:30 at night and attacked her boyfriend while he was sitting on the couch. She said she was angry that Grace had refused to have sex with her earlier in the day. So she scratched him on the face, head, and neck, and then bit him on the arm. She shouted that I fucked everyone else because Grace would not fuck me.
Who are these people?
Yeah, the cops.
No. I mean, when she said I fucked everyone else, who is she referring to?
The
grim man.
She went to a home for the blind, and just started offering up beegers and handies. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's is that real or are you just?
No, I'm just making that up.
Okay.
I don't know who would take that up. You'd have to get guy.
Yeah,
You'd have to run into UNTCG at go time. Seriously,
not even. No, dude. You're talking. You'd have to be homeless men on the street.
Yeah, honestly, like what percentage of the population would even begin to think about putting their Panoose anywhere near that?
Yeah.
That is so grim, dude.
Like I said, homeless.
That is grim.
Like some guy just in a box in a cardboard box on the street, and you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah,
it's been
Carlos won't do it.
It's been 15 years as it is. Or
damn.
Yeah, she then cracked her mom in the eye. She lives with her mom. She lives at her mom's house. When police arrived, she declined to answer police's questions about the fight, but admitted she'd been drinking. They described her as being hostile towards officers, even threatening to run one over with a stroller if they didn't move out of the way.
See, that suggests she's got a child in the house, a stroller, right?
Yeah.
Damn it, dude. She's spawned.
Yeah. Should we call her?
Yeah.
I think, well.
Or we should call the person that E pulled a number for.
Right.
Yeah, we should.
What do you got, E? What do you got for numbers? And this is for the mom?
I just looked up the names that Betty Clark. So that's her mom.
Oh, we can't go wrong with a name like that. Yeah. This has to be her.
There's only two. I can.
432. There's one number here and two numbers here.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
Oh.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, one number and then two numbers. These are different names. I told you earlier there was two different.
There's three phone numbers there, though.
Totally. I know. For some reason, under this person, it listed two landlines.
All right, try the top one.
Top one, I think, is the more confident one. But
for Betty Clark?
Yeah.
And Tabitha?
I didn't even look up Tabitha.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
You have reached a number that is no longer in service.
Wow.
Please check the number and try again.
Yeah, that's common for people that are getting bashed with phone calls. That could have been the number.
I mean, there was a Betty Clark.
They're both Betty Clark, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, one of them has a middle name and the age.
Well,
you said you were looking for his mom, so the second one.
She's 66 years old.
Well,
so
you're right. The second one actually might be. Because the second one did say it was 65 plus.
What's the girl's name?
Tabitha.
Pretty name.
Grooms.
Hi.
Hi, Betty.
Hello?
Betty.
What?
Hi, is Tabitha there, Betty?
Quit calling, you idiot.
No.
Whoa, Betty. All right, let's just talk to Betty then. Screw Tabitha.
Yeah. She called me an idiot. She doesn't even know me.
No, she doesn't.
That's rude, right? Am I wrong there?
If she knew you, that'd be fair.
Yeah, I am an idiot, but she doesn't know that.
No, she doesn't.
That hurt.
Hello?
Hi, Betty. It's Jay and Mike. How you doing?
Quit calling here. I know it's you, Spencer.
What? No, hold on. I can't hear you.
We haven't called you before.
We've never called you. Betty. Betty!
Bet.
She hasn't hung up yet, though.
Betty?
Betty.
No, she did. I thought I.
Oh.
What did she say?
She goes, I know it's you, Spencer. I'm telling you, that's what I think I heard her say.
Who the hell is Spencer?
That's what I thought I heard. I don't know if
one more time.
Anyone else heard that? But when she said, I thought she said, I know it's you. I know it's you, Spencer. That's what I thought I heard. More importantly, it is her.
Look at that grill, dude. Oof.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna pick up anymore. Probably.
Hello.
Phone line sounded as white trash as they are.
Yeah.
Who has a phone line like?
I know it's you, Spencer. I know it's you. Stop calling here, idiot.
Imagine her voicemail's full with important business calls. Probably former colleagues at the firm. Betty, we have another client we need you to follow up on.
Mrs. Clark. I'm going home for the day, idiot.
Betty, we have an important meeting tomorrow with the CEO.
I've got an important business lunch tomorrow, idiot. As you were, Betty, as you were.
Oh, Betty. How can she ignore this? It's killing her.
Yeah.
Just let this thing ring. Sitting there going, I shouldn't. It's that Spencer idiot.
I know it's them idiots again. I know it is.
I'm smarter than them. I know it. I ain't answering it.
I got all night.
I just ain't gonna answer it. Go ahead, call, you idiots. I ain't answering it.
Carlos, get the phone. You idiot.
Spencer.
Tabitha.
Woo! You should hang up and just do it one more time. I don't know, just to see if it would fool her, I guess.
She's already forgot it was ringing.
See if we can fool her with this one.
God damn it. I knew it was you idiots again.
I thought they wouldn't
fool her.
They wouldn't call 4 times.
No. This has to be a valid call.
Yeah.
It's probably the firm call.
She must have a rotary dial phone. Who doesn't have a caller ID now?
I can't believe she's up at 11:40 at night. To be honest.
Who has a landline, man?
Well, if they don't have landlines, we can't find them.
Yeah, thank God she does, right?
Right.
Come on now, Betty.
What's going on with that grill? Is that those are upper teeth, right? That we're
I
seeing
believe
prominently.
So, yeah. I believe they are.
Is that just meth? Like, how do you get that?
Probably.
Yeah.
It does look like there's some. Yeah.
Definitely an issue with flossing regularly.
Some gingivitis.
I think there could be a dental issue here.
A little bit of gum disease. A little bit of gum disease.
Missed a few dental checkups, I think.
Yeah. Nothing, huh?
Huh.
What?
Yeah, now it's not even going through. It's just going and hanging right up.
So she probably.
Oh, there we go. Never mind.
I was gonna say maybe she pulled a plug out of the wall.
Yeah. It's killing her.
Yeah, it is.
She wants to answer that phone so bad.
Well, clearly she doesn't have, like you said, clearly she doesn't have caller ID at some level. So yeah, she has to always. And see, the thing is, a lot of shows a lot of people might be blowing up her phone with this story, but they're calling at different hours than you're calling. So it's almost an advantage.
Yeah.
Because she picked up even once.
Come on, Betty. She picked up twice. She called me an idiot, and then she called you Spencer.
I'll take Spencer.
Yeah. I'm stuck with idiot.
I'm dying to know what that tattoo says across her titties.
Yeah.
Can we get a second image of Tabitha? Nothing.
No, I looked. I couldn't find anything.
There's no web footprint. I can't imagine. She's not on Facebook.
Shocked. I'm shocked.
Where's her Instagram account?
I couldn't find the boyfriend
Honestly,
either.
can you see her on Facebook?
She's big on Snapchat.
Betty.
Betty. Don't hang up. We're just wondering if you're okay. We heard you got a black eye. We're just calling to see how you're doing.
Are you pulling the phone down a gravel road?
Somebody picked up.
Betty, it's not Spencer. And I'm
Betty,
not an idiot.
we heard about the situation there, the alleged situation. We just wanted to get to the bottom of it if we could.
Betty, we just wanted to make sure you're okay, Betty. We're worried about you.
Oh, Betty.
She's trying to hang it up, and we're still on the line.
Hi, Betty.
Still here.
Still here, Betty.
Betty.
Come on, Betty. Let's just talk about it, and then we'll let you go. Real quick.
Yeah, boy.
Just holding it down. Hold on. It'll come back.
Done this before, have you, Mike?
Oh, yeah. She's got to make a call really bad.
Yeah.
And she's going to pick it up, and we'll still be there.
Yeah.
We had this happen once. We called down to New Orleans.
New
Orleans during Mardi Gras. And we got a bar, and they were slamming, and we refused to hang up, and they could not get a fucking dial tone to get back out to call. And they were screaming at us to fucking hang up the phone.
Like, they needed you. That's crazy to think. They needed you.
They needed us to hang up on our end.
Right.
Huh.
Obviously, with cell phones and whatnot, you don't have to really worry about that anymore. But yeah that was,
obviously. But back then, you did.
Well, we're still on. Should I do a read while we're waiting?
Sure.
Look, listen, Zott Ford and Holly, the official auto dealership of the Detroit Cast, is also Metro Detroit's leading lease pull-ahead authority. They specialize in getting people out of their current leases up to 12 months early. That's right. It doesn't matter what brand your lease is or how many miles you have on it. Zott Ford can assist you in getting out of your lease early and into a shiny new Ford. Now is the time. Go to Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98 and let them get you out of your overpriced, over-mileage lease and into a new Ford of your dreams. No one can beat Zott Ford at the terminating of your current lease up to 12 months early. Also, their goal is to match or lower your current payment. Check out their marvelous deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com. Get there.
I have a pile of other stories to do, but we're running out of time. Want to do some email?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right.
You know,
and we'll hang on to Betty's number. Maybe we'll try and surprise her tomorrow.
Yeah, why not?
I think if you did listen back to that though, when you asked if Tabitha was there, I feel like she said, "Who's asking?" I think she responded to that, but I'd have to listen back to it.
Chris writes in. Actually, he wrote on the message board under a forum titled Belle Isle Rally Drive. He says, excited for the fellas taking hot laps at the Rally Cross. So he's referring to Red Bull, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyone taking bets on whether the king vomits after his lap? I hadn't thought about this, Mike. Combine his admitted motion sickness with some of the very best drivers in the world, and I sense a major cleanup on Belle Isle.
See, now, is a hot lap what it sounds like, or do they just kind of slowly drive you around the track to show you the car and the track?
I think they probably ease you into it, but then they frickin' throttle it a bit to give you a sense of it.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know.
That's so awesome.
I think they probably, give you the option before, like, all right, you want to do a little something here?
Pedal to the metal.
Hell yeah.
Go for
I'll
it.
barf. I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be a cool experience. Because if you look at this shit, I mean, they're jumping. They're banging into each other. Obviously, we're not going to be banging into each other during a...
Is this a hot lap?
No, this is a race.
No,
oh, my God. They are banging into each other.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude.
And they've got one of these, I forget what they call it, but they've got a little like shortcut through the middle. What do they call that, dude? You can opt to take the shortcut.
Yeah.
If you look at the map of the race, it's pretty cool.
Why wouldn't you take the shortcut?
Because it's gonna, I don't know. There's probably a little penalty to it or somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. This is like a video game, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, rally racing is it's actually very awesome to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, and along those lines, we said we'd mention our ticket giveaway, and we're going to mention that. What we want to do is have two different levels of a giveaway. We want a general admission ticket giveaway, and we want to do a giveaway of some VIP tickets. And so two different ways you can win. General admission, write us in about your favorite race experience. It doesn't have to be, obviously, a rally race, just a personal story about a race of some sort. It could be a running race. It could be a bike race. It could be a car race.
Some chick you banged at the track
NASCAR.
At a NASCAR event. It could be.
It's got to have to do with a race, though.
Yeah, when I snuck on the track at MIS and sped around the track a few laps.
There you go.
Ease drunken stories from going to NASCAR events. Anything.
Yeah. Anything race related. Email us in with those. We'll read them. We'll judge them. And obviously if they're good enough, we'll read them on the air too.
Our favorite ones we'll give tickets.
Yeah. And then the second one, and this is interesting, is our Twitter contest. We want to have you create a meme with both logos, the DetroitCast logo and Red Bull logo. So anything goes, but it has to include those two logos. And the one that gets retweeted the most, or the couple that get retweeted the most, I think we have two pairs of VIP tickets, I believe. We'll win those. And so get those going, get those out. Get them retweeted. Here's the key, though. You have to tag us at the DetroitCast. Okay, so it has to be addressed to us at the DetroitCast, and you have to include the hashtag the DetroitCast Red Bull. So that's easy to remember. Just our two logos and our two names in the hashtag, and tag us at the DetroitCast, and let it go.
Get creative.
Yeah, get creative.
Have fun with them.
So that's that, and we're definitely looking forward to it. It'll be sweet. The VIP will be sweet.
There.
We'll be there.
Yep.
Hang out, have some fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Mike writes in. Subject: 24-hour drive from Florida. The King, Chaz, and Dry Stalk Sniffer. Last week, I had the pleasure of listening to your show for at least 18 hours straight.
Ooh, what?
My elderly parents moved back from Florida for health reasons. My brother thought we should drive a moving truck with minivan on trailer to help save some cash versus a moving company. I flew to Tampa and was picked up with everything already loaded. I had approximately 60 episodes on my phone, knowing that radio stations suck throughout the country. I introduced my brother to your show. I thought we would listen to a few here and there, but my brother became an instant fan. We listened to We listened for the entire trip except for a 2-hour nap at 3 a.m. The show got us through the boring drive, which lasts 22 hours of being awake. Without the show, we would have been miserable.
Wow.
Been a fan since the start and look forward to the show each morning. You guys have a great format. Keep it up. Bye, BUI for now. Good day, sirs. I said good day.
That's awesome.
That is. Can you imagine they'll listen to us for 18 hours straight?
No.
That would be really weird. Back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's tough for me when I get in someone's car. Like I've gotten in Beth's car before and she's been listening to it through her phone and it's connected and it's like, turn it off. I've done that with my mom. I've gotten in my mom's car and it's like, there you are talking, Jay.
Yeah, it's
kind of like, I don't want to hear this. Turn it off. Who knows what's going to come out of our mouths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So
Anthony writes in, to the management of the Jay and the Other Guys show and the 32-year-old showstopper.
Oh, the Jay and the Other Guys show and the 32-year-old showstopper.
Like the Heartbreak Kid and HBK. Never mind.
No, that was good.
First
no,
off,
I'm happy with it.
That sort of goes to what this email's about.
WrestleMania, Mr. WrestleMania.
First off, I guess we, the listeners, now know 100% for sure that Big E is the woman in his relationship with Ty. His text said it all. Maybe he is yet one step closer to opening that closet door. I don't know. In response to listener Al's email, and by the way, Al, of course, emailed in and suggested that the Big E character ought to be killed off.
Right.
I love that phrase. Oh, and Al followed up. He's a cop, by the way. You were wondering what the fuck does Al do?
You told a cop to fuck off.
You
That's
did.
grounds to be shot. If you told Officer Walters to fuck off, he might shoot you.
Well, I didn't tell it to Officer Walters.
Well, you told it to Al, the cop. So watch out.
Who's an actual cop.
In response to listener Al's email, I also vote for the Big E character to be gone. He may be good at stand-up where he can work on his material, but he is so not funny or sarcastic in any way, shape, or form. He does nothing but kill the flow of the show, no matter how, quote, funny he thinks he is. He's not! Oof. Come on, man. If he's not saying Jay, then it's you're right, quote, unquote, Jesus, fuck, or whatever. Good God, man. I can't take much more of this dipshit. Listen to 80% and give the fucktard the boot. Please, Crown, speak on the matter. Goodbye, BUI. One man's vote, E. That's only one man's vote.
Yeah. Can't put much stock in one guy's vote.
Cheryl writes in, good day to the king, the thin one, and the liquor of dry stalks. The Esquire Network is showing the running of the Bulls live at 2 a.m. each night this week. Also a recap of the day's events at 11 p.m. each night. I was cheering for the Bulls the whole way.
Good. I think 15 people got clipped today.
No shit.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work. I've listened since the beginning. The show gets better and better each day. I vote to keep Eric. Aha.
Wow.
Only because who would you beat up on if he wasn't there? That's right. He is radio gold. Huh, Eric? Huh?
You know what's also going on right now, Jay? Your favorite is the Tour de France.
Tour, dude. And the leader broke his back.
I know.
There's a massive pile.
Dude, that wreck had me laughing, like doubled over belly laughing. Hilarious. Seeing those guys going at like, where are they going at 27 miles an hour? And then whoops, one guy goes down and then boom, all of them go down.
Brutal wreck.
Yeah.
Mike writes in, King Webster, an engineer of the day. That would be Kadog today. Good day, podcast heroes. I would like to cast a vote to kill the E character off the show. I've tried to come around on him, but alas, it cannot be done. I am in total agreement with listener Al from Tuesday's email. I know he claims that he doesn't put on an act as the hipster doofus that he is, but whenever Jay or Mike are gone and he fills in, he does a relatively good job. His sentences are coherent and complete. The minute Jay and Mike are back together, he sets the cum-covered Astrovan on cruise control and goes back to being a fuck. He says he doesn't care if he's off the show, so let him go for a month and see if the results are the same. Maybe he can learn some responsibility on his hiatus. He's never going to amount to anything in the podcast world if he keeps on this slacker track.
Thank you.
I realize he takes a lot of shit on the show, but the dude needs a wake-up call. Get your shit together, E! Get your shit together! I know Walters has a soft spot for E, so nothing will happen, but just a thought. I would give a loyal, I thought I would give a loyal listener's perspective. And then he put E equals, I think that's a down, what do you call it?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down and a pile of shit. Salutations, Mike. So, we have great disparity in listeners' viewpoints on whether E should be killed off.
It's interesting.
Keith writes in, King, lazy ass, and seed in the wind. Since we are having a vote, Eric needs to go. He sucks. Oh, and Eric, I'm a design engineer at Chrysler.
Ooh.
P.S. He doesn't really bother me. I just like piling on the retard.
Yeah.
So I think that's a vote for E in a weird way.
It's kind
it
of
doesn't really bother him, he said.
Yeah, it's kind of a middle of the road, take him or leave him vote. Which I suppose is a positive for you, E?
I don't know.
Good one.
I wasn't making a joke. I don't know. You tried to make the joke, I think. I don't know.
No, I wasn't making a joke.
The great thing is he takes none of this personally.
No.
Wow, look at that dude getting gored in the shoulder.
Oh, God damn it, Marcel!
Oh, she's going to get it right in the back of the thigh.
Why would you fuck with these animals? I don't get it.
Wow. SBRN writes in. Tech illiterate Fukfases. It is 6:30 a.m. and I'm not listening to the podcast. Gee, wonder why. Did your nerds not show up today?
Yeah.
Well, you got us there.
Yeah.
It's referring to the Tuesday release of our show.
Yeah.
Didn't go as swimmingly as perhaps we would have liked. But here's the thing, dude. We don't know what we did wrong, honestly.
We've posted the show more than once without one of them here. Not saying, of course, we messed up.
Sometimes there are issues that iTunes. There's just issues with iTunes.
Yeah,
we don't control that shit. We post it, and it was
on the website, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so
Mickey got it posted this morning.
Yeah, so we did something.
I called him, and I haven't heard back from him yet, but because I was going to ask him like what he did. You know what?
He's going to go.
The problem was
J&E forgot to check whatever box.
But you guys have posted the show probably 50 times.
I know.
Without incident. So
how fucking hard is it to follow simple directions to post the show, SBRN? God damn it, Walters. Grow some hair on your balls and learn how to post the show. And you lawyer, remember that some of us haven't left our shitty, high-paying, high-stress, white-collar jobs. The only thing that is keeping our fragile mental state intact is 115 minutes of daily podcast bliss. Jay, you always ask, how did you get here, man? One day you're going about life fine. The next day you're going down on a horse. Well, sir, I submit that waking up to no Detroit cast is step one. So, you can see that SBRN was a little upset. And I personally apologize to you, SBRN.
Yeah. I think that's a vote for E. Counts, right? I mean,
he wanted the podcast.
Yes.
He didn't vote against E.
I put that in the plus category.
So I think we're about even today.
Yeah.
I think the scale is right about even.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the great thing is he doesn't take it personally. He doesn't
take a knee.
Just like water off a duck's back.
Fuck you, Al. Fuck you, SBRN.
He's just staring at his social media right now. He doesn't give a shit. Anyway. So we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
Okay. All right, good. Well, hopefully we get some good memes coming in. The prize will be worth it to go VIP.
Yeah, man.
At the Red Bull race. Yeah, that'll be.
Don't forget, hashtag the Detroit Cast Red Bull.
Yeah, that's how we'll see them and how.
And send it to at the Detroit Cast.
Yeah. So with that, we'll call it a day, and we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again.
Oh, you know what? Fuck.
What?
Christ. Never mind.
What?
I think I'm gonna be doing.
What was that?
I think I forgot about this because I just signed up today. I think this Friday I'll be doing comedy out on the East Side again. Grosse Point, Cabbage Patch, same place I was a few Fridays ago. If anyone remembers me talking about it, but whatever. 10:30 at night. It's late as fuck, unfortunately. But
on a what night?
An inspiring commercial for that.
Yes.
Well done.
I know. Thank
Cabbage
you.
Patch in Grosse Point.
10:30.
10:30 this Friday.
Yeah, around then.
Okay. We'll go see E there. Doing stand-up.
And Kidog's taking us out with some Proops. Appears to be a slew of panda bears. Overrated in my book, but Proops nevertheless.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll call it a day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for an all-new Thursday edition.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow. You know not what remains shallow. All just